Hey guys, this is Jim here today for a quick look at the set number 76244, Miles Morales versus Morbius from the Lego Marvel theme. This set cost me $25 US, or if you want to be really technical about it, $24.99. It includes 2 minifigures, 2 molded bats, and this really awesome sports car. So now let's take a look at the car. I usually start off my videos with the minifigures, but I'm going to revert back to my older tactics and take a look at this car, because I think this is a really great car. So you can see, just looking at it, it has a very Miles Morales-esque sort of look to it. You can see it's just got black and red, and the figure or character's signature colors, and you can see it's got a printed sloped piece right there with his Spider-Man insignia, and yeah, it's really, really great. So let's start off at the front. You can see that this part lines up against these two parts that angle down into these Lego City four-wheeler headlights, and down there. So you can imagine them as headlights, but that is supposed to be a spider face. You can kind of see it there. Like if these are all eyes, you know, yeah, you can kind of see this like fangs. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It's like I don't know, it's like it's triangle pieces, kind of giving some shaping, but we'll get more on that later, because there's something you can do with that I find quite fun. Just a great, and then you can see there is a red, like a trans red Speed Champions windscreen part. That's very nice to get. I don't think that's new necessarily, but it's nice to get. And around the sides you have these two pearl silver stud shooters, and they both shoot hollow studs. I'm only going to fire one, but you know, just fires like that just by shooting at, and that just got lost, so I'm gonna have to find that later, but that doesn't matter to me very much. Just a stud. It's a good, fairly good studs on the side assembly on both sides, just giving some more depth to the car and giving us some intakes. You can see a little bit of tan right there. Not really nice to see, really, but it's whatever. Like, it's kind of unavoidable at some points, but just taking off the windscreen, you can see inside there all you got is these little dials here and the steering wheel, and then there's no seat necessarily. It just sits at the bottom of the chassis, so it's a really low seating car. I don't mind that. It looks pretty good in there. So it does only accommodate one minifigure, but it's fine, because you know, it's just a sports car. And then this gives a very sports car feeling to it. It's the armor piece introduced for Ninjago Season 13 Master of the Mountain. That wave of sets from 2020. And then this can be lifted off, and there is a little bit of trunk space within. That is really cool. And let's take a look at what this holds. The trunk space holds these two spray paint cans from Miles, which is a nice, fun reference to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse film from 2018. And that's nice. I'm a really big fan of that movie. Very excited for the sequel. But you can see there's one that's just teal, sorry, and one yellow. But yeah, he can be held in his hands like this as he does some painting. That's really cool. Let's get back to the car. There's not much else to say about the inside of this, but it's just fine, small space. And then, whoops, Slave 1 just fell over in the background. I don't know if you heard that. But right on top of America Chavez, so I hope she's okay. But yeah, I don't necessarily like how the back is open. Like, you can kind of close it up by moving the spoiler, which is a very good build. I love this. Like, it can be angled down like that, angled up. I don't know if this is supposed to move, like if it's supposed to be like this. I'm not really much of a car person, so I don't know if that's possible, but this is a high-tech car. You can see there's some of that blue energy that charges up the gun. See, there's a blue stud in there, and yeah, some round shaping here that looks really cool. And then this, I believe, is a Speed Champions part, and this is too, actually, but they're two separate parts. Like, they're two different things, and they both accommodate these Speed Champion style wheels, which I believe, yeah, I think the tires and the rims are both from Speed Champions. And then around the back is where things get interesting. So you can see there's some more studs on the side assembly that build up these tail lights, which looks really cool. And it has that old classic handlebar thing. But this is really cool to me. This is supposed to be nitrous that is boosting the car forward, like making it fast. And there is some really cool parts usage. Like this is the Ninjago crystallized giant crystal blade piece. I'm so happy to get this. This is actually my first time getting this mold, but you can see, like, if I take a random minifigure you've probably never seen before, you can just see how it just really plays around with light and stuff. But yeah, so that can easily be removed, and if you don't want that giant thing out there, and it's just attached on this this hinged part, so it can hinge up and down depending on how you want the car to be going. And then the other smaller nitrous bursts here are Spider-Man web parts from the Web Blast and Splat pack. That works really well, actually. I like that a lot. But yeah, this is just the underside of the car. Kind of ugly, but you know, you're not really supposed to see it. But that's really all I have to say about the car for now, so let's take a look at those minifigures. Starting things off with a hero figure of this set. This is Miles. Sorry, the lighting in my studio, it's not a light box, but it can get a little bit dark, so you can't really see it sometimes, like head on. Not really working, but from the side it works. So that's some nice printing. He comes with the blue weapon web pack or whatever it is. So here's one that's being sprayed out by him, and this could be the remnant of one that he has just swung from. Those are cool, but we're gonna take him away from him for now and just take a look at how awesome this figure is, because he is really something special. This is all new and exclusive to this set. He doesn't have leg printing, which is kind of sad, but whatever. I think this might be a new face print, or maybe it's the same one from the hooded version of Miles we've been seeing in a while. But yeah, it's really cool. Unlike most Miles Morales suits that you'll see online, this actually has gray webbing instead of red, which is kind of also a nice nod to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because he had silver webbing back then, and then you can see there's a red spider on him, and he's got some red hands. I mean, it's a simple figure, but it's good, and that's what counts. Like, the fact that we're getting this new Miles figure is really cool to me. So let's take a look at Morbius. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Morbin Time! Oh man, just the fact that we have this figure, it's just so funny to me. I never thought we'd get this. Like, this is just so great to me, especially since the movie was terrible and everything, and nobody liked it. But this is supposed to be a comic version of Morbius, not from the movie, but you know, he's got some Morbin chemicals here, or maybe they're supposed to be blood and fake blood, if you want to think about that from the movie. But in the movie, this fake blood would be blue, not purple. And then you got some Morbin bats here, and he's got the Morbin Doc Brown hairpiece, which some people don't really like. I think it's fine, but I think this works a lot better if you take that away from him and give him an all-new Morbin look by giving him this Morbin hairpiece. He looks even more ready to morb. Sorry, oh man, that meme is hilarious. But reverting this back to its typical appearance with the Doc Brown hair, you can see these are very clever beaker builds. I do believe these are supposed to be chemicals. I don't believe LEGO would put human blood like this in a set, but it uses the trans clear chalice piece with studs and 1x1 round tiles. So really they'd look like that, but the fact that this is intended to be placed upside down really makes them look like beakers. And then he comes with some classic bat molds as some other accessories, because, you know, he calls the bats, he was made by bats, and the chemicals are running away that way. But he's got a very nice face print. It's very, very crisp and clear. You can't really see it on, there we go. Okay. It's just a little too close, couldn't focus very well. But that is a very good face print. I'm glad that it came out so good. And there's his collar open to expose his chest, which isn't printed dark enough. You know, it needs another layer, but no, it's fine. Whatever. It also doesn't have leg printing, which is sad. And on the back, you can see he's got some blue detailing, which looks really, really cool. And there is his Doc Brown hair, his Morbin hair, and then he's got face back there. It makes him look more calm and collected. Maybe he's reverting back to his human form, but there is no human form of him for this set at all. But now let's take a different approach to the car. Where you see, if you swap this printed part out for this, the same part with no printing, it becomes a different car. It's no longer a Spider-Man car, and you want to go the extra mile, you can get rid of the cannons. And then you can probably get rid of some of this exhaust, like that. And now you have a regular old car. Looks really cool. So that could be, I don't know, just the front of a car, or it could be like the fangs on Morbius. This, the front of the car looks a lot like his collar, so that's really cool. And if you take those off, you can maybe have this on display to represent the time when he, at the horrible post-credit scene that made absolutely no sense, where he went to meet the Vulture. I'm still scratching my head over that, but yeah, it works as a Morbius car and a Miles car, or if you don't want to have it for either of them, it can just be a regular old car. I like that. I think this is how I'm going to have it displayed. I don't really like the idea of having a superhero-themed car, so I think this is how I'm going to keep it. This set contains a significant amount of extra parts, which is very interesting to see for a set that is only $25. But you can see you get an extra of this print, which did not come out the greatest, actually. I'm disappointed with that. And then the rest of the web pack looks like this, and I used this for Miles earlier because the back box art does show him holding this, despite the instructions and no other media saying that it does belong to him, so it technically is an extra piece. In terms of packaging, this is what you get here for your box, just a typical $20 size, but now $25 size. And you can see they rebranded it under Marvel only, and then they now have the sub-theme thing. Like, this is the overarching theme now. Now the marketing thing is now over here for Spider-Man, so I like this new packaging. They still keep this trend, which is cool. And there's some actual size comparison with Miles. And right on the back, you can see where I said that he's using this, even though it's technically an extra piece, and there's Morbius flying away. And then there's this great look of the car that does remind me of Speed Champions quite a bit. And I forgot to mention earlier that there are no stickers used in this set. However, there is a crappy instruction manual, at least crappy on the front, because, okay, this is probably by far the worst, like, posing of a render. Like, there have been worse renders than this. Like, this render's fine. Why is Miles so far away from Morbius? And why is Morbius friendly, like, giving Miles a friendly wave from afar? What are these bats doing? What? What? Anyway, they've got the QR code around the back. This is the typical thing you would expect, only no more pirate for some reason. No pirate for Marvel anymore. And then there's your parts. And there are no ads. I didn't remember. That's interesting. But, yeah, let's talk about this overall. Overall, I'm feeling like this set is actually really, really great. Like, when I first heard that, like, this style of car for, like, Speed Champions, and then we were getting a Marvel car, when this happened, when it jumped from $20 to $25, I wasn't really a fan of it. So that's definitely my biggest complaint with this set. I definitely think that this should be a $20 set because it only has 2 minifigures, and it's just your standard size of car. So given that it is 2023 and we're still having this inflation stuff, it does kind of make sense that why it is what it is. But really, in an ideal world, I would love to see this at like $20. But regardless of that, this is a really good set. Like, you get a great Miles, you get an awesome Morbius. It's a great parts pack. You get some good stuff here, and yeah, I just think this is great. So yeah, I would definitely pick this up if I were you. I would 100% recommend, and I think I'd rank this I don't know, around like, I don't know, maybe a 8 out of 10. This is great. This is really great. And yeah, I think that's all for today. But yeah, my name is Jim. I do videos like this about Lego and Marvel and whatever, Ninjago. You get the gist of it by now, but yeah, that's what I do. I'm here to do that for you on YouTube, and I will continue doing so as well. Stay tuned for some other Lego videos soon, and I'll catch you in those. Well, like I said, I'll just see you then. Ciao, which means bye in Spanish.